To review the minutes from the meeting of February 9th. And I would once again thank Rebecca. She had promised that she was a careful and detailed keeper of notes, and she is indeed both. It's really appreciated.
All right.
Thank you, Rebecca.
I guess the only thing that I have about the minutes is, and maybe the minutes don't get changed, but we got some additional information on 608 Columbia Street.
What time did we get the information, Chip? Was that during the meeting or after the meeting?
Well, actually, Carol messaged us, but we didn't discuss it, and I don't know if it was during or.
It was not in the meeting. So the minutes have to stand as is, but we can open up discussion of that when we get to that.
Okay,
item.
very good. Thank you.
Any other comments on the meetings? If not, I'll ask a motion to approve the minutes as prepared by Rebecca.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you very much, Paul. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you very much. You all in favor by voice? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The minutes are approved. First item up is a certificate of appropriateness application. I think you remember that in the last meeting, attorney Christabel, not Christabel, I'm sorry. The attorney was representing the applicant and said they would be prepared. I spoke to Craig this morning, and for whatever reason, there are issues that would make this application incomplete from a code point of view. Since it's on the agenda, Craig is not passing on this for us. I would ask for a motion to find the application incomplete. I'll make that motion. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Vote on 43 South 3rd Street, sign for Hudson Eye. It is not passed through code enforcement. We vote on the application as incomplete. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The application is incomplete. We have a number of certificate of appropriateness votes. First up is a C of A from actually from August. whatever complication, we didn't have an opportunity or didn't take advantage of the opportunity to actually pass on this. I think part of the problem is the application came back later with different set of issues on 544. I just want to read the conditions on this application. And then my recommendation is we go ahead and approve it. All existing lintels and sills shall be maintained. New windows installed on the alleyway will fit into already existing brick arches. Applicant will return to the HPC for approval of ADA entry. ADA entry is not part of this. They brought that into a second application. Doors to be refurbished, which are vintage bronze doors. Top window detail is to be modified to match existing front windows. Faux columns that had originally been proposed are removed from the plan. At this point, the application, I believe, is complete. And the application was actually approved in the minutes from the meeting. So we're just voting on the C of A with the amendments and conditions as indicated in the text. May I have a motion to approve C of A?
Excuse me, what
Yes.
is the address? Are we at 4 Park Place?
544, the old Farmers National Bank.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
The board reviewed this back at the August 14th meeting,
And
right.
approved it.
and you approved me to prepare the C of A, but for whatever reason, it didn't get placed on the agenda for the next meeting. And so there was never a vote.
Oh, I see. So all these conditions that Phil just read date back to our discussion in August?
That's correct.
Yeah, here, let me see if I can pull up the minutes so you can see your discussion. It might ring a bell for everyone. I know this is a long time ago. The applicant is now looking they want to start the work, and we were scratching our heads trying to find the C of A for this project and realized that it was never voted on for whatever reason. I'm here, so I'm going to share this with you in a moment. 544.
Thanks very much, Victoria.
We're blaming COVID, but
No, I would blame Phil.
I'm just going to blame COVID. But share screen. Okay, these are the minutes from the August 14th meeting. Let me pull them up for you. See, it says 544 Andy Didio to Conic Engineers. So it was a renovation, and we drafted this based on the approved minutes. So new windows were all wood. You were going to have the top window modified.
Is anyone else recalling that the front door replacement with the recycled vintage bronze doors? Did we ask for additional information from that or detailing for exactly how they were going to fit? I'm just not remembering.
We
According
may
to the
have.
minutes, it says are approved.
Yeah.
But
Jeff, there was another meeting about 4 or 5 months later that had the ADA and the doors in it, I believe. So I think this is accurate as of that point in time. So both of these Cs of A will apply as they get a work permit.
Okay.
did they come back for the ADA doorway? I don't-
I believe.
Okay.
May I have a motion then to approve the C of A?
So
I'll make
moved.
that motion.
Thank you very much, Paul. Miranda, second. All in favor by voice? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. To approve, we can release to the applicant. Chip, what was the one you wanted to weigh in on? Was it 4 Park Place or further down the list?
It's 608 Columbia Street.
All right, we ain't there yet. So
Yep.
we're at 4 Park Place. Motion to approve the C of A for 4 Park Place is prepared by City Attorney Polidoro. Anyone?
Make the motion.
Thank you very much, Paul. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you very much. You all in favor by voice?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? None. Approved. 620 Union Street. Motion to approve C of A for 620. Anyone?
Motion.
Thank you, Hugh.
second.
And a second by Paul. All in favor by voice? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
None. 620 is approved. 608 Columbia Street.
We
Yes,
received,
go ahead.
we received a note from Carol
I saw.
Ostrink after that, clarifying some of the information that the applicant had made, that this was a building that was built in the 1890s. In fact, it was built much, much earlier than that. And it is a series, it is one in a series of 4 buildings. I had asked during the meeting what the adjacent buildings had looked like or what they were looking like. And I'll remind everyone there's a 6/1 window on the 3rd floor and a 1/1 window on the 1st floor that they were using as patterns for these new windows. But we had in a previous meeting at 602, which is the corner building of this series of 4 buildings, as Carol were built for the sons of the Gifford family.
Mm.
We had, and I'm not sure the date of this, but it is 602 Columbia. They have 6/6 windows there. They asked for replacement, which we allowed for them at 6/6 in that pattern. So I think it's clear that in this series of buildings that they all should be 6/6. And we just didn't have all of the information at the time of the meeting for us to be fully informed about this and for us to be knowledgeable about the fact that this is really four buildings built at the same time at a much, much earlier date than the applicant had suggested in the 1890s. So the applicant had suggested that they would accept the 6/6. We had a little discussion about it and just deferred to the 6/1, which I think was inappropriate for us to align with. So I think we should go back to a 6/6 window rather than a 6/1 for the, I think it's 5 windows that this applicant is asking to replace on the first and second floor of the.
I agree with Jim.
I do too. I think it's a real opportunity to maintain a set of buildings too. I think that's important.
I have no problem
I would
other than the
agree.
fact that we did tell the applicant that their application was approved. So I would ask Attorney Polidoro to weigh in on next steps.
Well, so, I mean, you can change your decision. You haven't had the final vote yet, and it's based on new information because you don't want to be arbitrary and capricious, you know, say one thing and then just change your mind. So you explained a rationale for why you're changing your decision. The one thing I'm concerned about, though, is that you don't have specs for 6/6. They weren't presented to you. So I can amend the C of A right now to say approved with condition, windows shall be 6/6. But do you want me to say same brand and style as the approved 6/1?
That's fine, or you can indicate that we wish to receive specs from the applicant, but
I actually
he
think they
was
gave
putting,
us.
I thought he was installing some 6/6s as well as 6/1s.
He had proposed, he gave you various options because some weren't going to fit. I think they were different size windows.
Victoria, could we not approve 6/6 contingent on us on providing appropriate specs. And then I mean, we've done that before, and I know he hasn't requested it, but he seemed incredibly open, which is why this is maybe would work.
Okay.
And he can submit those, and then he can also, when he does, he can get his C of A.
So you don't have to, so when you say submit the specs, who's going to be responsible for approving? Does he have to wait 2 or 3 more weeks for a board meeting, or?
I think the board can, I'm happy to review them with Craig and make sure they're consistent with what we
That
want
would
to
be
do.
great.
I'd like to move this guy forward.
I agree. I think it would be good to move it forward. He had offered us 6/6
Yeah.
in the same manufacturer of the documentation that he supplied. So I don't feel like we need additional documentation. I think we
Okay.
have,
Was,
I think we have the information.
was this
He had
the one
offered us,
where if you're doing he needs an egress window on the 2nd floor? So if it's 6/6, it either had to be casement or that's
No.
no,
That-
that's a
that
different,
was- That was another building.
okay.
that was another building.
Okay.
Good.
Uh,
So I would suggest then we go ahead with Victoria's proposal to modify the C of A, indicating 6/6, same manufacturer and so on as previously
Okay.
proposed for the 6/1.
I agree. I think we should help move this along for them and not make it more onerous. I think they came open as an open book, and we were just not fully informed about it. That's all. So they seem to be quite cooperative and willing to do 6/6. I think that was a choice that I think the board would have been better had we selected that rather than the 6/1.
I'm happy to call the applicant and get this going. In the meantime, Victoria, you're cool doing this on the fly, and we'll vote.
So here, tell me if you think this is all windows shall be replaced with 6/6 windows with the same material and brand as proposed 6/1 windows.
That's fine, and I'll follow through with the applicant and make sure there are no issues. I don't think there will be. He was looking to do a quality replacement from the get-go. May I have a motion to approve the C of A for 608 Columbia with the new language
I'll make that
that we
motion.
just inserted? Paul,
Yep.
and a second, please.
I'll do it. Miranda.
Thanks, Miranda. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? None. It's approved. 502 Union Street. Motion to approve C of A is prepared by the city attorney on 502.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you very much, Paul. In a second, please.
Okay.
Hugh, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. 223, 225 Allen Street. Motion to approve C of A.
That was for the doors. I'll make that motion.
Thank you very much, Paul. And a second, please.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Could you refresh my memory on,
Doors, the Greek revival doors.
the Greek revival doors, right?
Yes, and he presented them.
Yes.
Thank you.
Did we have a motion?
Yes.
Paul, and a second from you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Approved. 542 Warren Street. Motion to approve
Wait,
C of A.
this one has a condition, by the way. Do you want to read?
Can you read that, Victoria?
Here, yeah, I'll just share it. Let's see if I can.
Oh, this is the Barlow, right? This was the awning.
It says applicant shall return for review of any proposed lighting under the canopy.
That's clear.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Okay. Did we have a motion?
I'll move.
Thank you very much, Miranda. And a second, Paul.
I'll
Thank you.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Approved. 59 Allen Street. I had anticipated that we'll have our public hearing at our next meeting in 2 weeks. I see Walter is on. And I was going to ask Walter if this would be useful which is, I know it's weird during COVID, but I know you have discovered stuff as you poke around the inside where there's evidence of window cuts and so on, which are material to the discussion that we were having, very material to the discussion we were having. Would you be comfortable if very carefully we do a site visit as part of our public hearing? I think it would be useful.
I'm happy. I'll obviously have to ask the owner's permission. I don't think he would be, I think he'd be fine with it. So yeah, let's schedule that.
Okay. My suggestion, commissioners, is that we do this at 9:30, if that's okay. And I know not everybody's going to be comfortable doing the site visit, but those that are, I think it'd be valuable, and there may be folks from the public as well. So pending permission from the owner, which Walter Chatham will let us know, and I'll let everybody know. Are we good to schedule a public hearing in 2 weeks for 59 Allen, starting at 9:30 on site? And then I don't know, I guess we all walk back to our computers. It's a little bit weird, isn't it? But
Bill, what is the date? Can you give me an actual date?
I think it's the 8th.
The 12th.
12th,
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
It's that 8th.
Great. 12th would be fine.
We're good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that it's going to take me a half an hour to get back to my computer, or 20 minutes to get back to my computer. And there may be other, is this going to be open to members of the public?
Yes.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about site visits for a moment. You
Yeah,
can
I
only
mean, that
open it.
makes me a little nervous.
You can only open it to members of the public with permission of the landowner.
Understood.
Don't open it to members of the public. The board cannot discuss what they're seeing with each other. You can ask Mr. Chatham questions and he can give you answers, but you cannot have side conversations with each other because that'll be a violation of the open meetings law. So, you're there to observe and ask questions. And then when you get back to the meeting, my recommendation is that you each take turns explaining what you saw and getting it on the record.
I think this is all wonderful. My biggest concern, I don't think there's anything that we don't want to reveal, but the house is very fragile. When I go in there myself, very often I have near-death experiences, frankly, and you have to be super careful, and I would be super uncomfortable just from a weight standpoint and having a lot of people. Maybe it would be better to schedule some individual visits where I would be happy to take people over and show them, and then you all could decide based on that what would be appropriate with the public. I mean,
Okay.
we'd have to secure the building. You have to understand we've had nothing done to it. So
So
We had the site visit not on the 12th, if we had it on another day for just the commission, and people could go in one at a time or whatever seems appropriate.
Or
I'm
if you
okay
did
with
that by appointment.
what if we do it by appointment?
yeah, I
Period.
think the large group makes me very uncomfortable just because I would feel better one or two people at a time.
Okay, then if you don't mind the burden, and it is a little bit of a burden, let's do it by appointment. Commissioners will contact you and we'll go from there.
Great. And then I'll just make sure it's okay with the owner, and then perfect.
Terrific. Thank you very much. That's very generous, Walter.
Great.
My recommendation still stands that you take your notes and then when you come back, you get your observations on the record at the next meeting.
Understood that we will not discuss with one another. That's not a problem, but that's great. I think it's interesting to take a peek. It's as was pointed out, an important building and deserves the time. And that's my story.
I don't want to take any more time. I just want to point out that Carol very generously offered to introduce me to Peter Watson, and the owner is very happy to let me talk to him and presumably take him through. And he's a Davis scholar, so I think that would be a huge lift for this project.
That's terrific. Thank you. Are you still comfortable with the timing in terms of meeting on the 12th? Walter?
Yes.
But-
Okay.
I'm sorry, what time is the hearing on the 12th? Is it before the 10 a.m. meeting?
I think actually we could do it with the 10 a.m. It's just easier to keep everybody aligned if we don't change times and places.
Agreed.
So we'll start with the discussion of the Alger House. There will be visits by commissioners as they wish, but Walter Chatham will coordinate that, and it's obviously only with his permission. And as the attorney pointed out, we won't talk to one another.
I think it's terrific that you're taking Peter Watson there. I would love to be a fly on the wall when he walks through that. If there's no objection from Victoria, I would love to, if it's possible, and if you find it appropriate, Walter, I'd love to be part of that.
Why, he's not even a commissioner, so you could discuss things freely with him.
It's fine from my perspective.
Yeah, I actually think we all want the same thing. This is a very enlightened way to go about this, so let's do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I thank everyone. I have no additional agenda items unless I miss something, folks. If not, motion to adjourn the meeting for today.
I'll make that motion.
And a second. And so
Second.
it's adjourned, and thank you as always for great work, and take care out there. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Meeting.